Televised by the local cable company. And I'd like a motion to approve bill and payroll warrants.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept correspondence in the read file.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public forum, now's the time for anyone to speak upon an item that's not on the agenda.
May I? Oh, okay.
Sure, Dan.
Okay. I just wanted to make notice that I got a couple of phone calls from some concerned citizens, excuse me, about the traffic signal light, the position that it's in down on 27 by the middle school, that it looks like it's leaning and falling over. Tuesday I had a MPO meeting, Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting in Brockton. I talked to the representative for MassDOT, Massachusetts Department of Transportation. They are going to go look at the traffic signal to make sure that it's firmly secured to the sidewalk, that it's not falling over. So I just wanted to make that notice because of the fact that I got a couple of phone calls on that issue where kids are walking, crossing the street, and it's leaning to one side, so they'll make sure that it's safe. I'll fix it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a scheduled public hearing with respect to the petition of National Grid to install and maintain approximately 245 feet, more or less, of 2-inch gas main in Lee Avenue from the existing 2-inch main at number 15 Lee Avenue, northerly to Donahue Avenue, and approximately 747 feet, more or less, on Donahue Avenue from the new 2-inch gas main on Lee Avenue, easterly to the end of Main at lot number 14 Donahue Avenue, in order to provide gas service to 18 new houses. We have someone here from National. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good, thanks.
Good.
Thank you. I'm Barbara Kelleher. I'm the permit representative for National Grid. It was on. And as you said, it's an extension of Lee Avenue, and that's in the Hogg Memorial development. That this is for, I was here before for 14 new houses. Now I'm back for 18 new houses in that development. So, and this is 245 feet extension.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
I have one question. Are you going to cut into any existing street?
No, I don't believe so. I think this is all brand new.
Okay.
Brand new.
'Cause my concern-
These houses do not exist.
Yeah.
Actually, I misspoke. There's a couple of houses right there on Hogg Memorial, 207, 221, that exist. So
Okay.
it'll be a.
What I'm
it'll
asking
be a
for,
take.
I noticed when National Grid cuts in a gas line and they have the trench and then they repair the trench, that for some reason the street never is the same. It's always a drop of about a half an inch.
Right.
And it just deteriorates the street very bad.
Right.
So I'm just hoping that they do a better job in
Restore, yeah, the
sealing the street.
restoration. I'll make sure that.
Thank you.
that someone gets that message.
Anyone else have a
Just
question?
for, I guess, public disclosure, I work for the DPU, so I'm actually on the gas safety division, so I'll be abstaining from this vote because I will likely oversee the project. So.
Okay. Someone like to make a motion to accept the petition?
I will make that motion.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And one extension.
And next, I might as
you.
well stay there, I guess, a public
Okay.
hearing with respect to the petition of, oh no, I'm sorry, this is somebody different. Massachusetts Electric Company and Verizon, New England Incorporated, to install poles 16 to 50 on Viking Drive with an anchor in order to reroute service to feed existing House 8. The service currently aerially trespasses one of the new lots in the upcoming residential development. Is someone here from Mass Electric?
My name's Sam Young. I'm a National Grid engineer. So for this site, there is a new underground residential development going by Kenwood and Vikings. So there'll be about 20 lots, 20 or so. And currently, where 8 Vikings Drive is being fed, full one, it's the service coming off of Kenwood, as I said, and aerial trespass overcome the new house. So the contractor told me to relocate the service on the other side, and this new pole is to run the new service from the other way.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, does
I
this,
do.
okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Does this issue, placing a pole, does it have to go before the planning board? No? I am looking at the development and
No,
where they're placing.
that's, the selectmen have the
Okay.
authority to
No,
set
I
goals.
know we have the authority to tell them yes or no, but I mean, I don't know if the planning board would look at it and look at the places where they're.
No.
Okay. All right.
I do have a question. Your anchor, where will that anchor be placed? Will it impede sidewalk access in any way? Will it,
Currently on Homeland and Vikings, there's no sidewalk. Basically, if you can picture the area, it's basically open field. And from the road, I'm sure the public way has about 5 feet off the pavement for the rights.
Would there eventually be a sidewalk?
I don't think so. That was not the plan from the contractor.
About the other side of the street?
If it were to happen, could the anchor be replaced with one of the angled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, would someone like to make a motion to accept the petition?
Eh?
Yes.
You have to come up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Evan McLeod. I'm actually the owner at 8 Viking, and I'm really just here to get more information as to what's being done, how it's being routed, and things of that nature, if possible. I don't really have any objection to it. I'm just looking for more information to better understand what's happening.
Actually, so which utilities are underground at that address and which are aerial? Is it just telephone and electric that connect through the
I would
poles?
have thought they would all be underground, that our bylaw requires all development.
Yep, the new development will all be underground. And they'll be coming off of one pole from the left.
So the pole is going to provide
see
the
the
access
image
and then
of
go
pole?
underground.
Okay. But at 8 Viking Drive, they're still above ground?
Yep.
So it's going to be tied into the old from Homeland?
Yep, currently there's like cables coming here. So there'll just be one extension
See if I can find that.
to the neighbor over there. I can.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. We've got a motion.
So I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Town Administrator's Report, Frank, budget line transfer requests?
Yes. We have 3 requests. The first one is to transfer from line 172, which is Norfolk County Agricultural High School, to line 7, which is the Administrative Assistant Board of Selectmen, $750. The administrative assistant regularly works between 36 and 37 and a half hours a week. There are occasions where she may work a little longer. So in this year's budget, we find ourselves short just under $750 due to those hours, and I'm requesting to transfer for that purpose. Would you like to cover all of them at once?
Yeah, why don't you go through all of them? And
The second transfer, again from Norfolk Aggie,
Yeah.
to the street lighting
Yeah.
budget, which is something that I find a little ironic, is because when we prepared our budget last year, we knew we were purchasing the lights. We knew that we would, at some point in time during the year, or we believed that at some point in time during the year, we would actually have street lights in and we would see the rentals going away from the bill. It took National Grid 6.5 months to sign a contract. We began replacing the lights in January. We're probably 85%, 90% done.
He said to do it.
But we haven't completed it, and they haven't changed the tariff, nor have they removed those charges. So at this point, we will be $25,000, approximately $300 short for payment of those utility bills for May and June. We have May in, we don't have June in. The calculation that I provided was taking all of last year's bill, or all of last month's bills, totaling them, and then deducting 500 from this year's to arrive at that number. Eventually, we'll get this money back, or a good portion of it. But right now, the bills are due, and I don't want to cause accounting problems by not paying them.
And the extra Norfolk Aggie money there is
Is
the student that
surplus
did not,
because
or
of,
each
year, we have to budget for an adequate number of students. And then the third transfer is within the sewer enterprise fund, sewer water enterprise. We did have an increase of about 25 to 28% on electrical costs last year due to the change in tariffs. So several budgets have been short because of that. This is one of them. And it's simply moving the money from one utility line to another within the enterprise budget, and it's $222.65.
Okay, thank you. We can vote all of these together if no one has any questions or objections about any one of them. Okay, a motion to,
I make a motion that we accept the budget line transfer request.
is there a second? There's a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Budget review, timeline with respect to fall town meeting, Frank?
Okay. There were a few other things that I don't want to cover, but I can cover them in this area. We have had a meeting with the Collins Center relative to assisting us in preparing for a capital plan. The overview was what I would call sky high. It wasn't necessarily focused in, it was more process than anything else. Monday, we completed our appropriations for fiscal 19. Yesterday, I sent that list of appropriations to the Collins Center to incorporate in the FY19 numbers, and we are preparing an outline for approach to budgeting for capital in 2021 and the ensuing years. The bigger task we will have as a group, both for selectmen and finance and the town departments, is zeroing in on and defining the plan for the future. We've been talking about a request to override Prop 2.5 to establish a higher baseline for funding operations and capital needs, but we have to be a little more precise in what we're doing. It's going to take several meetings, but I think probably one or two members of the Board of Selectmen, one or two members of the Finance Committee, and some of the larger department utilizers need to come together to start working out a plan for how these appropriations would be presented. Because it's one thing to say that we need to raise the levy limit, but we need to show people what that means and how it's going to be utilized. So I'd like, even though it's the summer coming up, I'd like to start having those meetings in the next couple of weeks. And I'd be interested in knowing.
Would this be the budget review committee, basically, that we established last year would be handling this, or are you looking for something new?
I'm looking for something more encompassing. Yes,
Okay.
I'm looking for a core group.
You're looking for a group that's actually going to basically develop a strategic and capital plan
Yes,
by October.
by October, at least as it reflects what our needs are
Well,
and how we're going to
Right.
address them.
One that justifies asking for close to $3 million in October.
Right.
Okay, well, no, that needs to be done, and it needs to be done.
And we need to do it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've asked Lisa, and I know Carl has asked Lisa, to begin developing an outline of what our current numbers are and why we need to increase our levy. So it's great that we're doing that, but we're going to have to put in that piece where that money's going.
Right, and just to be even clearer, more clear about it, it can't be a small group of people fashioning a plan without without the public having the opportunity to be informed about what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, there has to be
a public component to it.
Right. Right. And that's a lot to do in the summertime, but it's something that has to be done.
Agreed. Two other items. We have,
You asking then for, you asking for some sort of permission to ask people to be on this, work on this group?
That was my request, yes.
Okay. And 2 selectmen you would like,
To select,
okay? And you would like a couple of finance committee members.
yes.
You would like, I would hope,
Citizens at large.
a couple of school committee members.
Absolutely.
And school committee personnel
Right.
that sit in positions of authority.
I would expect at least one school committee member and the superintendent or the budget manager for the high school, or for the district rather, to be part of that process. That it's the biggest single budget line we have. We also need participation from the public works side and public safety. I mean, these are all
Right.
heavy consumers of tax dollars and need to be represented. And we need to do this publicly, and we need to invite in
Okay.
input from the public.
Now, you have an appointment on Monday, the 24th.
Yes. That's why I'm asking to do it in July.
Okay. Okay.
So I would-
I was going to suggest something
Yes.
faster. Maybe you can get a committee maybe you can establish a committee before the 24th.
Oh, it's my intent to do that tomorrow.
Okay. That's all yeah. So you'll be contacting people?
Yes.
You have people in mind?
And then I'll also expect Lisa to
And Lisa will do what you can't do.
doing what we can.
Okay.
I'll be unavailable for probably a couple of weeks, but
Right.
depending on how things go. But I certainly want to see this happening now rather than later.
Okay, so
it's
we-
amazing how fast time goes
So
by.
we should expect before the week is over to have names of people.
To have identified participants,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, and have identified participants that said yes to the task?
Yes.
Okay.
What I think we do is we'll come back with a list that the board can officially appoint as
At our next meeting?
at our next meeting, as a committee.
Great.
Are there still restrictions on finance committee members serving on other boards within the town? And would that become an issue?
I think this is more of an advisory role,
Okay.
so I don't think it would be an issue. Right now, the only board that a finance committee member can serve on is and with the appointment of both the moderator and the chairman, is the Capital Expenditures Committee. This is certainly in line with that. Maybe the same person, maybe a different person. But
I agree in the need, it's just a matter of,
I will reach out to them, and I don't think there's any conflict, because what we're going to do, I expect, is put together a plan that has to be presented to the selectmen and to the finance committee.
And
Because that's what's going to guide what we ask for in the fall.
Excellent.
Public Works, from prior discussions, we know there have been issues with the force main pipe that delivers our sewage to the Brockton treatment plant. The Board of Commissioners engaged the Environmental Partners Group, who are currently our engineering advisors, to assess the pipe for condition and likelihood of maintenance and repair. The pipes were planned to last 30 to 40 years. They were put in the ground in 1984. So the meter just ran out on 35 years. They have surveyed the pipe. No easy task because we've had to clear miles of vegetation and other things that interfered with the right-of-way. And there are some concerns, some major concerns about weaknesses in the pipe and where we may have problems. Over the next month or two, the Board of Commissioners will be looking at the process to permit and plan either repair or replacement of that pipe. This is going to be an expensive project. We don't really have numbers now, but we do know, at a minimum, if we were to abandon the existing pipe and run a PVC line, you're looking at in excess of $8 million. There will be more to come as this information develops, but it is something that you will see as an item on our future planning and on our capital analysis. So more to come. I don't have specifics right now, but nobody should be surprised when we start looking at this. We built the system 35 years ago. We have to maintain it. We've appropriated $400,000 to address the two main stations pumps, and that work will be done, and it's necessary, and it will help us to move forward because that will be part of what's already planned. Finally, and this is on the previous town administrator's report, we have some issues, we have some complaints, I should say, from residents of Pleasant Street relating to parking and truck travel on Pleasant. I did ask Old Colony Planning Council to do an assessment of Pleasant Street, and in particular, the intersection of South Ave and the crazy corner thing. And we got that back last, I don't know, Wednesday? Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 64 pages, and I haven't had time to look at it yet. Be right up front about it. I do plan on taking this time I have to assess that. And we will probably be coming back to the board in August to address the issue. I'm not sure. There are some people who prefer that Pleasant Street be non-parking. It is a significant connector between routes 27 and 58, so it's not kind of a side street where it doesn't matter whether or not you have parking and traffic. So that'll have to be looked at, but I just want you to be aware that this will be coming forward, presumably in August.
Frank, question on that. Heavy vehicles coming down Pleasant Street, you're saying coming into the Franklin Street?
Well, that's
South
why
Union-
I
South-
asked for this study, because I didn't expect that there would be a large number of commercial vehicles, certainly not what we experienced on Washington Street before we established the exclusion zone. I'm not sure that the state would allow us to put an exclusion zone between 27 and 58. But we have to look at the results of the traffic study and the recommendations from Old Colony.
Yeah, plus in that area, you got
Which I
the
understand
company
you
that
have
washes
some in
trucks,
on.
right?
Say again?
Right? You got the place that washes trucks. Are
Yes.
they going for
Right.
that, or are they
Yes.
local
Yeah,
deliveries?
so I don't think we're going to be looking at a heavy vehicle exclusion,
Okay,
but we have to look at it.
yeah,
And then we'll bring the information back to you. The public safety folks have looked at the street and did not feel that it was an area that required parking restrictions, except perhaps where it loops up on the corner. And I do believe that's been posted for no parking. So, it's trying to address the needs of the community and the needs of the residents that are impacted by it. So, like I said, I'll be meeting with DPW and police to review that study, and we'll come up with a response and a recommendation. I just want people to know we're looking at it.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Does anyone have any questions or comments on Frank's report? Next item on the agenda is the housing production plan, and I think this is probably Lisa's turn.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Back in February, we were approached by the Old Colony Planning Council, who offered us a technical grant to help us develop a housing production plan. A housing production plan, actually, a lot of our surrounding communities have already done this. They've done it out of their own funds. Fortunately, we were offered a grant to do this. Housing production plan, basically, it's a proactive strategy for planning and developing affordable housing. As everyone knows, the state has a Chapter 40B, which requires each community to have about 10% of its housing be affordable. This particular plan, the state has allowed in this particular type of plan for a community to control how the affordable housing will be developed in the area. The Old Colony Planning Council has developed a study. That's the first step. A survey. It's the first step. It is focused towards housing questions. It will be available on our website once the Board of Selectmen approve it to go forward. And hopefully residents will fill out the survey, the housing survey, and the Old Colony Planning Council will gather the data, compile it, and put together a study from the information they got, and then put a plan together. One of the good things about this plan is that if a developer comes in who wants to propose a 40B type of project, if you have this plan in place and it has been approved by the Department of Housing, it really limits the developer in their appeal process with the state housing appeals. The state will, if our planning board denies a 40B and we have this housing planning, production plan in place, it will upheld our planning board and zoning board decision. So it's a very good opportunity, and I highly recommend that we approve this going forward. So a lot of our neighboring communities, including Hanson, have developed these plans, and it's time for Whitman to follow suit.
And just to be clear, the current 40B requires communities to consider affordable housing when looking at development projects. The 40B applicant doesn't even have to go to the planning board. They go to the Board of Appeals. The decisions the Board of Appeals make are expected to be conforming with affordable housing, and if they don't, they go directly to DHCD, who approves the project, and we have no say over how it's implemented. So this is something that would benefit the community because it allows us to plan that process.
So we need a motion to accept it?
We do.
I'll make
And
that
to,
motion.
and to,
Authorize
and
Lisa.
to authorize the survey.
Yeah, I make that motion.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Good job.
New business, vote on the contract of employment for the town administrator. Over a series of executive sessions, we were able to reach a contract agreement with the town administrator, a 3-year agreement that runs from July 1st, 2019 to 2022. It includes the 1% increase that was voted by the town meeting as of July 1st, 2019. Future increases, however, will be negotiated with the Board of Selectmen as time goes by. The contract, if we voted, it's been voted, we're just announcing the vote now. We're having a public vote now. The contract will be on the website tomorrow after today's vote, so that people can see it.
So
I'd like to make a motion to conclude the contract negotiations with the town administrator
I will make that motion.
and to ratify the contract
And the
that
motion.
we've offered and he's
Yeah.
accepted.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Justin?
Huh? To vote.
You know,
It's not an executive session vote,
No.
never mind.
in the interest of just general information, it should be noted that the contract that is presented tonight does not contain more benefits than the previous one, but rather has pulled back some of the benefits that are currently available to me, and we negotiated that freely and willingly.
Yeah.
Right, yes, it should be noted that our town administrator has taken a lead on reducing the contractual burden to the town and some of the benefits in his contract. And hopefully this contract becomes a model for future contracts. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I
Yeah, this contract will be circulated for signature.
As the contract is circulating, I'd like to announce the following board and committee vacancies. On the AAA Advisory Committee, we need an alternate there's an alternate delegate vacancy for 2019. On the Building, Facilities, and Capital Expenditures Committee, there's one vacancy for 2019. On the Conservation Commission, there are 2 vacancies, 2019, and 2 alternate member vacancies for the years 2020 and 2021. On the Economic Development Committee, 1 vacancy, 2020. Fair Housing Committee, 1 vacancy for 2019. And the Historical Commission, 2 associate member vacancies, 2019. If anyone is interested in serving in any of these capacities, please contact the Selectmen's office.
And Carl, I should also mention that anyone interested in volunteering in any capacity can do so through our office or simply by filling out a volunteer application on the website.
Next item on the agenda is to act on the resignation of Pat Goldman from the position of Member Council on Aging effective June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
So, second.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd just like to let the board know that in Mr. Evans' place, I went to the Council on Aging meeting last Wednesday, I believe it was, and presented a proclamation
Right.
to Pat Goldman, and we got some pictures, so we'll be sharing those.
Excellent. What I'd like to do now is to read that proclamation
Very
because
good.
it hasn't been read
Yeah.
to the greater public.
Right. It was a nice, intimate little ceremony, so it was a pleasure to do it.
And thank you, Brian.
Sure.
I'd like to read this proclamation. Whereas Patricia Pat Goldman has served the town honorably, faithfully, efficiently, and with dedication for over 44 years as a member of the Whitman-Hanson Regional School District Committee, 1975 to 1981, member of the Whitman Public Library Trustees, 1999 to 2010, member of the Council on Aging, 2015 to 2019, alternate delegate to the Old Colony Elder Services Board of Directors, 2020 to 2010 to 2012, alternate to the AAA Advisory Committee, 2010 to 2015, elections worker, 2000 to present, and senior volunteer, 2000 to 2018. And whereas Pat Goldman initiated the May Basket program where seniors aged 90 and over receive a handmade May Basket created by Whitman Girl Scouts each year on May 1st. was instrumental in bringing bocce and pickleball to the Whitman seniors, participated in the Toll House Cookies walking group, delivered May baskets and took on the role of delivery elf at Christmas to deliver gifts from the annual giving tree at the senior center, prepared Meals on Wheels, and served meals at the senior center. And whereas Patricia Pat Goldman has led by example in her service to her community, volunteering immeasurable time and knowledge, and has brought honor not only to herself but to her family, friends, and the community as well. And whereas the valued services and untiring devotion of Patricia Pat Goldman have not gone unnoticed or unappreciated, and whereas the Board of Selectmen, on behalf of a grateful community, does hereby commend Patricia Pat Goldman for services rendered to the town. And now, therefore, the Board of Selectmen of the town of Whitman does proudly proclaim Wednesday, June 12, 2019, Patricia Pat Goldman Day in the town of Whitman, and extends deepest gratitude to Patricia Pat Goldman for her countless contributions to the community. And this has been signed by all of the members of the Board of Selectmen. It was signed on June 3rd.
Good job.
Should be missed.
Indeed.
Actor on the request of WR Cars Incorporated to increase the vehicle limit from 20 to 35 in connection with the Class 2 auto dealer's license on the premises located at 991 Bedford Street, and to amend the license to reflect the names of both owners of the business. Bob Curran, as a note here, that the building director, Bob Curran, is not opposed to increasing the number of vehicles for sale. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, this is where they had to fill in a spot where they took grass out, and now I believe the grass is in. I noticed it. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, well, let's set the July meeting schedule first, and then we'll have the treasurer collector discuss some things. We have a meeting on July 9th. This will be a swearing in of new fire officers on that night. And I think what the plan is to start the meeting off in the town hall so that there'll be enough room for people to, relatives and visitors.
Being in the auditorium.
I'm sorry, the auditorium, yes. And then move the meeting after that is over upstairs to this room.
It's good. Yeah, all set?
Yes.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
You have signed the list.
So, July 9th was one meeting.
I
Any
will not be there
suggestions?
July 9th, but
Any suggestions for another meeting in July?
23?
I think we play it by ear to see if we need a second one, but July 9th will be important because it's the last day that we can authorize transfers to balance out department expenditures.
Okay. July 9th is important then, okay. Excellent. Then it's going to be extremely important on that day for Brian and for Dan and for Randy to be here,
Yes.
because Justin has just let us know that he can't. And on July 9th, I'll be somewhere between Moscow and St. Petersburg, and I won't be able to make it. I'm sorry.
Understood. And I just want to note that I expect that there will be a couple of budget issues that will need to be addressed that night, so we absolutely need the quorum.
Mary Beth. Mary Beth is here to discuss some changing real estate and personal tax bills.
Thank you. Good evening. In an effort to reduce costs and increase revenue, I'd like to make the following two changes regarding the collection of taxes in fiscal year 2020. First, I'd like to change from mailing 4 single remittance real estate and personal property bills each fiscal year to mailing 2 double remittance real estate and personal property bills. These bills will still be due on the normal dates, which are August 1st, November 1st, February 1st, and May 1st. However, each mailing for the fiscal year 2020 real estate and personal property bills will only be mailed twice a year, July 1st and January 1st. Each mailing will contain 2 remittance slips and 2 return envelopes. The July 1st mailing will include an August and a November 1st remittance slip, and the January 1st mailing will include a February 1st and May 1st remittance slip. This reduction in mailings from 4 mailings to 2 mailings will save the town approximately $5,200 per year in postage costs. I have spoken with Josh McNeil, the town's IT director, and we have discussed posting this information and this change both on the town's website as well as the town's Facebook page. And many taxpayers have their real estate taxes escrowed through their mortgage company or their bank, and many of those payments are received from a tax service company each quarter. So this change doesn't affect, the majority of the taxpayers, because those who are escrowed, we receive those payments with a file and not with the bill anyway. So I think that this is a good change. I've talked to several towns that have converted to this type of billing, and, it's worked well. So I'd like...
Anyone have any
Basically going-
questions?
It's basically going back to what we used to do many, many years ago, where we used to mail bills twice a year.
But the revenue only came in
Right.
twice a year. This way, we
So-
still have the revenue stream quarterly.
Right.
Question,
Yes.
have we made any progress in the technology area for electronic billing?
That would be the next thing, and I even mentioned that to Josh today, where we can offer some of the bills electronically. However, we have to have a way to capture all of the email addresses and, decide on the mechanism in which to do that, whether people would go on to our website and who would input that information and keep up with the changes. So we're not ready to roll that change out yet.
But we are looking at it.
Absolutely looking at it.
We're going to have to be careful to make public, probably at our selectmen's meetings, reminders.
Especially in October
And
and in
in May.
January. I mean,
they're going to go out in July.
April.
Yeah.
They'll go
Whenever.
out-
Well, yeah. we're gonna have-
Correct.
I'm
So-
thinking of myself right now. I'm being selfish. I'm going to need somebody to remind me to send in that other envelope at the right time.
It will take a little bit, and I expect that. And if, somebody did need another bill, we could maybe email it or fax it, but we want to get away, of course, from mailing out another bill. That's
I
the,
have a question.
yes,
Do you think seniors are going to be able to deal with this?
sure.
I mean, you're going to get 2 bills in one packet, you're going to pay the one bill, and the other bill you're going to put aside until when it's due. And you're hoping that you don't lose it.
That's right.
most seniors I know
Seniors
have
aren't
wall
necessarily
calendars
feeble,
to
you know.
keep.
I know that, but the point is that I can see people saying, I already paid my taxes. Yeah, but there's 2 bills in this. Mary, I agree with everything basically you do, but I'm not comfortable with this, I'm sorry. But that's my opinion. I mean, because I'm gonna, like myself, I will take the bill and I'll stick it in my checking account and let it sit there and wait for when it's due. And, usually when the bill comes in, it's a reminder for us to pay it.
Well, you can pay both of them in your first bill and
Sure.
not have to worry about it.
Do you pay by check, or do you schedule your payments?
I pay, but I'm old fashioned, I cut you a check and I
A
bring it in.
paper check, okay. And there will be, a learning curve. It will take a little bit, but I have spoken with several towns, and they said, just be patient, but absolutely, everybody's used to it now after,
Are you gonna have
few
some
bills.
leeway with a lot of people saying, geez, I forgot? Or, I already paid it, or something?
we are always very,
Okay.
I mean, we will work with
I
taxpayers. and-
wait.
She'll have proof of whether or not you paid it or not.
Oh, I know that,
Yeah,
no,
nothing
I
to
know
do with
that,
it.
no, I know that. But I mean, someone said, geez, I thought I paid that. Well, you didn't, there was 2 bills in that, and now there's
Dan?
there's gonna be a penalty,
We
right?
want a picture of the local paper in your envelope going in the box.
Yeah. I mean, there's, if somebody pays late, there's a penalty.
Interest accrues
Right.
daily.
And if they lose the second payment in the envelope, or they forgot about it, I can just see, we'll see.
There'll be a learning
Yeah.
curve. I mean, we will need to be patient with it, but it's very successful in many, many communities. So
Okay.
I feel it's a good move, especially where we're looking to cut costs and save money. I thought this might be a
Okay.
good way to try.
Thanks, Mary.
So I'd just like your support on that if you,
You have it. You need a vote of support?
That would be
you like
great.
a vote of support? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to support the treasurer collector's efforts in this
You got 1, 2,
endeavor?
3, 4. Okay, good.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll
Is there a
second it.
We're leaving you off the hook.
You're off the hook.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
I say no. I think it's a problem. Sorry, Mitch.
That's
It's a
okay.
3-1 vote.
That's okay. I'm looking for ways to save money and...
Yeah, no, I applaud that. I mean, for $5,000 a year, it doesn't seem like a lot of money that we may lose people from forgetting there. But whatever, that's just me. We'll see.
I'll put
Prove
you on
me
a
wrong.
No,
reminder
I
email
respect your opinion.
Prove me wrong.
Okay, so my second idea, I would like to increase the demand fee, which is currently set at $10 to $15 for a demand fee for all bills that I start to issue in the next fiscal year for demands. These are for people, bills that are outstanding, that are late. When a bill is due, you can issue a demand the next day. I don't do that. I always wait a week to 2 weeks before I send out demands, and that would be a $15 demand fee. And I expect that this change could generate approximately $25,000 in additional revenue. Again, it's for people that do not pay their bills timely.
Now it's up to
And we're
30,000.
allowed to increase that fee up to $30. And I believe it was 2013, we did increase from 5 to 10. So
doesn't
again,
cover
I'm
the
looking for
single
ways
billing?
to save money.
And I would note, Dan, that most of those demands that Mary Beth is estimating
Yeah.
earn more revenue are going to be the same people that pay it every year now. And they're just going to keep doing that. Maybe when it becomes $15, they might say, hey, this is beginning to cost me.
Okay.
You really think five
No.
more dollars? is
No,
gonna-
but you'd be surprised the kind of reaction you get from people when our dog license fee went up.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right. Yeah.
Which I do by July 1st, right?
Well, they're
Okay.
due July 1st, they're late August 30th.
Someone like to make a motion to increase that fee from 10 to 15?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it, this one.
Begrudgingly.
okay, discussion, all those in favor?
I'm never late.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I thought I paid it.
That exhausts new business, old business, recycling updates is on the agenda.
Yes.
Someone have something to say?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Recycling one bill that's in the, of the second bill that's in the taxes when you get billed twice a year instead of 4 times.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, 6 months ago, we rolled out our textile recycling program. That's the pink bag program we have here in Whitman. If you're a customer of Waste Management, they pick up your trash and recycling. Along with that comes, if you have any textiles you'd like to recycle, you put them in the pink bags, you put them out next to your barrels, and they're picked up. This is no cost to the town for this service. It's been very successful, actually.
Yes, I've seen
And I'm happy to report, since we've started this, we're now 6 months into the program, we've collected 27,748 pounds of textiles. It's equal to about 13 tons of textiles. Now, we get a penny a pound that Simply Recycling pays us. So we've made $277 that were payable to the town. However, the bigger number on this,
Amen.
under our waste management, our fees, we are charged $77.25 per ton that we bring to the landfills. So we've saved 13 tons of textiles that have gone to the landfill. So that has saved us so far $1,004.25. Now, I know it's just small amounts. It's little steps, but in the future, it's going to make big strides. This is a very beneficial program, and one thing that was brought to my attention is that I received a Waste Management report. Every day, Waste Management sends a list to DPW that, with an explanation of why someone's trash or recycling was not picked up. And they also, they are able to look at the contents once they dump them. And what they did note was that a lot of recycle bins have clothes in them, and trash have clothes in it that are just not bagged or anything. And I implore you, please don't throw those in the trash or the recycle bin. Put them in the pink bags and put them out. rather than in the trash or the recycle bins. The bags are free. They have a supply at the DPW. I have some in my office here at the town hall. Come on in and get some bags, and again, fill them, put them out, and they will be picked up. And it benefits the town in two ways, and it benefits the environment.
Great, thank you. I think that exhausts the agenda. Move to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're out of here.